I am sure that many of us have heard the word love as a verb, and as a verb involves much work. And the word love is often invoked as a noun, which makes it cheap and easy. Love stands for many different emotions: strong desires, control of another, expectations that you are to receive a reciprocal response. People have done many atrocities in the name of love, believing that they have a right to possess someone. They have done acts of self-love that have violated their very beings. Love has been trivialized. Remember the song of the Beatles? Love is all you need. Jesus sees the word love as a verb. He responded to a question posed by a lawyer. What is the greatest commandment? You shall love the Lord your God with your whole soul and all your mind. And the second is, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. The first part of the commandment is said daily by devout Jews, both in the morning and evening. To love God was to be absolutely written in their hearts. It was recited even by every child in their culture. But the second part, you must love your neighbor as yourself, was lifted by Jesus from Leviticus. Remember, he was asked, what is the greatest commandment? But he gives two as one. Love is not mere ardor, it is arduous. Gary Chapman, author and talk show host, speaks of love known in 5 different expressions. Love is known in affirmations. It's in giving quality time, giving of self in the hardest of times, physical touch, holding, hugging, and acts of service. These are all about actions, engaging, risk, and reaching out. And yes, even in these needs, the receiver is to be respected. Love does need permission. The book of Exodus is also explicit in the directions how we are to love. We shall put ourselves in the shoes of one another, so to speak. We are to be with the poor, the borrower, the widow, the orphan. We are not to mistreat them, but are to hear their cry. Starting with the commands of Moses, we are to understand that God is concerned with human suffering and comes to the aid of the poor and downtrodden. However, for the time being, the use of threats seems to be still necessary for the law to be respected. Quotes, my wrath will flare up and I will kill you with the sword. Whew, a very strong invocation by God. But perhaps there will be a day when humans, under the direction of God, will no longer need threats, but will learn that all are brothers and sisters, poor and rich alike. It behooves us to remember the letter of Paul to the Corinthians, the passage often heard in marriage ceremonies. What is love? It is patient, kind, not jealous or conceited, neither rude or selfish. It does not take offense, nor is it resentful. It is always ready to trust, to excuse, and to endure whatever comes. God is love. We have a God who is a verb, a God who is more stubborn and tenacious than a bulldog, who longs to love us with abandon and with abundance. And we are called to share this love in the broken, angry world we are a part of these days. We are to be an alternative to hate. We are to lay down our instruments of destruction, both nationally and internationally. Our invitation is to be peacemakers, committed to loving all of creation with abandon and with effort. May we be the presence of love wherever we find ourselves, and may we have the courage to risk that love.